Okay, you can see the date. This video just got posted an hour ago. Do you see that, people? Do you see that, people? This is how your professionals carry themselves in society. Because obviously somebody's pissed off. Because they want you to suffer in silence. Right? They mistreat you. They accuse you of things and never take you to court so you can defend yourself. They abuse people. They steal their money. They throw vulnerable people out onto the streets. Look what's happening. It's starting all over again, people. Alright. All the time. Ever since Uncle John went missing. Okay, people. Same day, December 23rd, 2017. It's like going on noon. It's like 11:45 in the afternoon. I will be here, people, all day, and it's getting to the point where I can't walk. Okay? So I just want to read this. I'm going to keep this real short. Because now we're going to start getting into the guts of allegations that they want to say didn't fucking happen. So I'm just going to read a couple of these allegations to make it understood that I put allegation in front of the paragraph. So there's no misunderstanding here, people. We'll start with 79. It is alleged by the plaintiff that Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce criminalized Mr. John Duncan's immediate family with the name of Chorney as CIBC Bank pandered itself to Fraser Health Authority agents and so that CIBC Bank could make a profit off of Mr. Duncan's demise as CIBC Bank employees falsely accused Judy Chorney of elder abuse. Number 80. It is further alleged Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, in conclusion with Fraser Health Authority and blah, 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 has endangered Judy Chorney's life by singling her out as a targeted individual for gang-stalking behavior with the intent to maim and harm. 81. In the month of January of 2016, Judy Chorney, when making inquiries to the Royal Bank of Canada if they had any contact with Mr. John Duncan, Judy Chorney was advised that a third-party person had called their banking center to say that Mr. Duncan was not responsible for any credit debt owing on a Visa card that was in his name. Judy Chorney and Mr. Duncan both made a joint application on November 13th, 2000, for a credit card at the Royal Bank of Commerce let me read that again. Judy Chorney and Mr. Duncan both made a joint application on November 13, 2000 for a credit card at the Royal Bank of Canada as Mr. Duncan did not qualify for a credit card by himself based on his personal bankruptcy in 1995. This third-party person who phoned the Royal Bank of Canada also said that Mr. Duncan was incompetent and has been basically brain damaged before the year of 2000 and that he didn't know what he was doing when he made the application for a credit card. Judy Chorney was informed by the representative of Royal Bank of Canada that she was going to be held 100% responsible for the total amount owing on that joint credit card account between Mr. John Duncan and herself. 82. It is alleged by the plaintiff that through the gross negligence of staff from Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce by not honoring the original enduring power of attorney on its record since October 30th of 1990, not only has Mr. John Duncan suffered great personal injury and loss, but so has Mr. Duncan's immediate family under the name of Chorney, who Mr. Duncan lived with for an extended period of 23 years until such time he was illegally transported to Victoria, BC against his consent on or about February 20th, 2015 under suspicious circumstances. As in, he was drugged, put in a hammock, put on a fucking bus, like a little mini bus or a van or something, and then got up on the ferry, and once he was coming out of his slumber and he realized where the hell he was going into cardiac arrest, so they rushed him off to the hospital to say look how we found him. There is no contact with that family on the mainland because look what they've done to him. And then we'll just read one more here, and we'll end it on that. I don't know what it says. Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce not only unlawfully seized Mr. Duncan's personal financial assets while Mr. Duncan was under detainment and extreme duress by Fraser Health Authority and its agents, but the bank usurped by force the enduring power of attorney that was held on Mr. Duncan's bank account for a period for 25 years. Canadian Imperial Bank participated with breach of trust that infringed, it is alleged. I guess that's how you do it, people. You put the word in front. It is alleged by the plaintiff. Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce participated with breach of trust that infringed on Mr. Duncan's and Judy Charney's personal safety, while both parties' lives were severely disrupted and put into direct danger that it adversely affected Mr. John Duncan personally and Judy Charney and the rest of Mr. John Duncan's immediate family under the name of Charney. Write that shit down. I want to cry, people. Now I know that little thumbs down crew that's sitting there picking their fucking nose. Go bake your turkey, man. You know? You got a whole fucking barn full of turkeys. Go cook your fucking turkey, man. Serious. If the bank would have followed through on legal channels to override the enduring power of attorney on its internal files, then Mr. Duncan would have had to be committed under the Mental Health Act as an involuntary admission that would have required more than just a doctor's note under duress for Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce to defraud Mr. John Duncan and his immediate family for corporate profit and or for the person and or for the banks and or for the bank and its personal employee bonuses. Point being, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce had no authority to conceal conclusive evidence regarding the official enduring power of attorney from the attorney. Nor did the bank have the authority under the Bank Act to open up any tax-free savings plans that Mr. John Duncan would have been totally unaware of, as a presumed dispute between two parties does not absolve Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, the bank, from following out on its mandate through the Bank Act under Section 451 A, B, C, D, and E. Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, the bank, and its employees acted in conspiracy with a third-party person who only made allegations against the attorney without due process of law to convict under jurisdictions that which a crime was committed under, and therefore the bank defaulted on its contract with Mr. John Duncan and Judy Charney, the attorney, for the purpose to renege on the bank and its obligations to the client, Mr. John Duncan, and to the attorney, Judy Charney. Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce took advantage of both Mr. John Duncan and Judy Charney, the attorney, in a time when Mr. Duncan became sick and then became victim to a political system that allows for the exploitation of the elderly and their personal assets by way of illegal detainments through the healthcare system as third-party interlopers stake claim on assets that do not belong to them. This is what the bank facilitated through extortion tactics as Judy Charney, the attorney, became a public target for trying to get honest answers from a corporation that not only put Mr. John Duncan's life in danger, but the attorney and her life in danger, as well as nobody wants to get caught with the premeditated embezzlement of mens rea or otherwise the guilty mind. under the Bank Act, Section 43812. The account blah, blah, blah. Do you get it, people? I guess that's just a bunch of baby goo-goo gaga crap, right?